And there's the backup going.
100%.
I just got a couple of drinks. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that's us, buddy.
Yes.
Welcome to my humble abode.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. It's always yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. This one, we'll not be rolling on the floors afterwards.
No, we'll have a good chat here and then while we're down the road.
No, we're down how we roll. So just for everybody at home, just before me and Arnaud go knee deep into a conversation, because I always forget about the cameras.
Yeah.
And then I end up having full scale yarn down some rabbit hole, and then you realise, fuck, there's cameras on.
Nothing wrong with a rabbit hole.
Nothing wrong with a rabbit hole. So yeah, Arnaud, Hybrid MMA, ards. Anybody that follows MMA in Northern Ireland over the last 20 years, will have definitely heard of you. But for me, Arnaud was just the guy that opened up the MMA club around the corner, and I wanted to do a few private jiu-jitsu lessons. So
you started off in the beginner MMA course.
Yes.
You signed up for the beginner MMA course.
That's right. So this world's all pretty new to me. As much as I am one of those sofa UFC watching guys that thinks it's fucking easy and why don't you do this, why don't you do the other?
Yeah.
You know, ultimately I would be one of them guys. Now I've done the bit of jiu-jitsu in the 8-week MMA course, but that strikes enough intrigue to really want to get to know the guy who's coaching me, because all I know is he's a great coach, and I feel for the first time actually coached. It's like I know I can come to you and say, right, well, I'm getting stuck here, and you've always had the answer. So that's Arnaud, and we're going.
Some intro, by the way. I appreciate that.
Oh no, only warming up. So
he's getting paid after.
Only warming up. So me and Arnaud are going to go behind the beer and the banter. So.
Just no beer today.
No beer today. We're on the healthy stuff, or as healthy as you can get in a garage.
What's that?
So how do you actually pronounce your name? Because you're not local. You're not local per se.
No.
Arnaud Dos Santos.
Arnaud Dos Santos. So my name is spelled A-R-N-A-U-D, right?
Yes.
So it's French. The name's French. I was born in France.
Yes.
AU in French makes the sound O, and the D silent, just to confuse people. So when I moved over here, I said, "My mom, we should spell my name A-R-N-O."
Yes.
Right, would have made more sense, but my mom's like, "No, that's the way it's written. That's how we're keeping it." So
yeah. So it is pronounced Arnaud.
It's pronounced Arnaud.
It's not.
But over the years, I've had Arnold. I've had Arnaud.
Yes.
When I played ice hockey in Scotland, it was Arnie. I don't know how I got Arnie out of it, but it was Arnie, so it was. So yeah, Arn. Some people just call me Arn.
Yeah.
As well, just because they were like, I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm just going to say the next closest thing. But now I've heard the name Arlo.
Wow.
Arlo, right? So there's a few kids. I was at one of my wife's cousin's son's birthday party, so my wee nephew I would call him. And one of the children there, his name was Arlo. And it's the first time over here I've been in a room that somebody's name sounded very close to mine. So when I was hearing the child's name, somebody was saying Arlo, I was like, yes.
You kept turning?
Yes, and they're like, no, I'm calling Arlo. I was like, it's just throwing me off, so I wasn't
nice head melt.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in France, and what age?
What age did I come over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in around the Brittany coast, so I grew up in a wee town called Concal.
Okay.
So if anybody's heard of Saint-Malo, where the Mont Saint-Michel would be, so it would be close to that area. I moved over here at the age of 11 in the year 2000, so August 2000.
11?
Yeah,
so was that start of high school?
I was in P7.
P7?
P7.
So you're pretty established in France?
Yeah.
So you'd know English, or did you speak French?
Oh yeah, fluent French, but I only had a tiny bit of English. I would have had like your basic stamp.
So you haven't come over. So did you come to Scotland or Northern Ireland first, or you said something about Scotland?
Oh no, I played like hockey in Scotland.
Oh, so
yeah, no, but no, I came to my mum's from here, so my dad's originally from Portugal.
Yes.
And then my dad's family sort of immigrated to France.
Yeah.
But then my mum and father, they met on holiday, and then my mum, she moved to France and lived in France for over 16 years and taught herself
Nice.
French. And then when my mum and dad got divorced, my mum wanted to come home.
Yeah.
Seems to be every Northern Irish person
They
when
always
they move
come
away,
back.
they eventually always come back.
Home's home, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's it.
So, are you going to go back to France then?
So I went back. So this is what I say. I don't. So I was born in France.
Yes.
So that's what I say to people. I was born in France, but I don't technically have any French blood.
Got you.
My bloodline is Portuguese and Northern Irish.
Yes.
So I was born there, but I'm a Belfast boy.
Got you.
I grew up here. This is, you know,
So is that how you'd know David McMaster?
yeah, I know David just from David used to date. Yeah, one of Haley's cousins, my wife's cousins, and then it was a band and stuff like that. So, late twos.
I would have studied music with David at college.
Yeah. Okay.
So just whenever I done the wee post introducing, coming on the wee show, David met me and he says, "How the fuck do you know Arnaud?" I just seen David on Saturday night.
Okay.
He was randomly doing a wee gig at the football club where Grace plays football, and then all of a sudden he's saying to me, "How the fuck do you know Arnaud?" It was just. Northern Ireland is small.
Well, that is the country
It
where
really
everybody knows someone.
Everybody, you're only fucking 2 mates away from knowing you're someone else, right? But yeah, so why I was going down that wee road was, so you had to basically learn English.
Yeah, so
into high school kind of thing.
Yeah, so I went in the P7, and as a story I love to say, it was like a good introduction to over here.
Yeah.
Where my first day in P7, so the kids were speaking way too fast, so I couldn't understand. So I got chucked out into the playground and just got surrounded by all the kids. I was like the new toy on the block, you know. It was literally like, and I was just blah blah blah. Everybody was talking to me. I couldn't understand. Next thing, this fist came through the crowd. Both. Just got punched, and I didn't even see where it came from. And then next thing it came again. Both, and I just remember like going. Who's bleeding, and I'm looking at this kid, and I couldn't even say what's this for because I couldn't say it. And I just remember doing like, and then all the other kids were looking at me, and I was like, still to this day, I don't know what the heck it was for. It was obviously, I don't know, it was just like.
You couldn't have been slobbering.
I wasn't, because I couldn't speak the language, so I just remember in my head going like, right, I don't know what this was for, but I made a note of that. So obviously, a year passed, I developed more Northern Irish sort of personality and characteristics. So end of the year, I was like, I was like, how do I get this boy to engage in a fight with me without me engaging? So I just remember sort of pushing around his cousin, and then he finally came, and I was like, it's my turn here. So I just swung for the fences and ended up like the whole playground shit, oh no. And then I was punching away, and then next thing I went for the big last haymaker, and then this arm got grabbed, and then I thought this was like the cousin coming back, so I took a swing at him.
The teacher?
I was a teacher, and the teacher was like an old rugby player, 6 foot something.
No way.
Just like,
not the day.
Not
the day.
So that was my.
So, did you think if that kid hadn't hit you, that wouldn't have like ignited your fighting career?
Oh no, that was nothing to do with fighting career. It was just literally, it was like
playground stuff.
That was just playground stuff. It was more like.
So where did the ambition and the, because the fighting game, it's not an easy game to get into. Never mind the fighting business. Where did that where did that come from? Was it made or was it always in you?
I don't know. I was so as I said, that was my first day in primary school, and then going to the high school. Then I was a foreigner.
Yeah,
so I was a foreign
easy
boy.
Target kind of thing.
Yeah, so I got bullied. I got very much bullied.
Wow.
So obviously over here you had sort of the issue with the two sided communities would be at each other as well. In 2000 it was still very much there.
You didn't fit in anywhere.
So I would have got it like from both sides technically. So both sides I would have got it, but then it was me and my two sisters and my mum. So I had to be sort of the man in the house as well. So my sisters would have got it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But and then obviously as our so this is why I have such a strong accent. You know, I was research. It was called like the chameleon effect. So because I was sort of getting bullied, I wanted to blend in, so I wasn't seen or heard. Because when I came over, I had the very strong honky honk accent, the French accent. You know.
Oh wow.
So a lot of
I
people,
can't see that.
Oh yeah. So there were good people like, you know, that knew me as a child with the accent.
No way.
Yeah. Some people said to me I'm even more attractive, but I think this accent, you know, you go around the world, people think this accent's very attractive.
I done Everest Space Camp.
Yes, you told me. Yeah.
Right, we touched on it one day on the mats. Well, do you know the highest pub in Nepal? It's an Irish pub.
Of course it is.
Do you know what I mean? And that's it's like, what is it? They say 99% of the world's Irish and the other 1% want to be Irish. And that's the way it is around the world. Like, but no, back to
it. So as I said, so I was getting bullied, so then I just had to stand up for myself. And then my dad, you know, when I got into the high school, then I went to Latin College. When I got to Latin College, you know, I would have got picked on as small, average size, you know.
For fuck's
sake. Average size, right? Average size for this country, definitely for sure, right? Definitely for
It was
sure.
actually big in France.
Yeah, possible though, but yes, I got picked on. My dad just said to me, like, you know, just make sure you hurt one of them, and then you know, hopefully next time there's less of them, and then I started approaching like, right, well, I'll go get them when they're on their own type thing. But the mindset was just I had to stand up for themselves. Nobody else was going to stand up for me.
Yeah.
And then, but when I was a kid, I played ice hockey. I was like 100% all in ice hockey. And I was one of the professional ice hockey player my whole dream.
And then, so was that when the Belfast Giants kind of introduced into Northern Ireland? Or
yeah, so I was here before the Giants. So I had played for a team. So that's how I ended up getting lured in this country by my mum. My mum lured me to this country.
The car on the stick was ice hockey?
I was like, oh, we're going over here. There's this great ice hockey team. There's me, oh, great. Showed me footage, and I was like, oh, it's going to be great. Didn't tell me there was only one ice rink in the country, like, you know. So, how do you have a league with one ice rink? You don't. So I was like, oh, you just practice, you know, you just go training with no games. But anyway, so yeah, played ice hockey, and then ended up, when I was 15, 16, I ended up signing for a team over in Scotland, and then every weekend I was away playing ice hockey from like 5th year, so it was great. It was really good.
And it was fighting in ice hockey too, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're allowed obviously to fight, to stand up for yourself. So if there's a bully on the ice, or somebody like hits you dirty, or you think somebody's like trying to get at you, you can stand up and defend yourself.
And what's the rules within ice hockey? Do you engage in a fight? Is there a rule, or just any time? You know?
You usually, like, the fights would come, like, so as I said, if you feel like somebody's trying to hurt you, you can stand up for yourself, or you feel like usually like the teams would have what they would call an enforcer, so somebody specifically like a tough guy. He would go in and he would try and, like, you know, chip away at the skillful players, or maybe try to, like, put them off. Or if say your team needs a momentum shift, nothing more than a fight gets the team going, you know what I mean? So it's like, right, get on there, go have a good ding dong, and then let's get the boys in this. So it is built into the sport, and it serves a purpose, you know, because you can get a whole team going, you know. So and then next thing you know, the team can just get into the game and win the match, you know. So
it's I've always kind of watched it, but I didn't really know the rules. You know, you'd be watching ice hockey and then just on YouTube or something like that.
For sure.
And then just fuck them all up.
And
there's a strategy to that.
Yeah,
you don't seem to hold the shirt, don't you? And it's very much like it's very much about, you know, like timing and grip. You know, obviously when they start off and they engage, you know, they don't have any grips, and the aim is to get a grip. You know, like if you've got range, right, use your range, right. So then you could just frame from there. You know, come over the top, come underneath, come over the top. If you can get the jersey over the head, you've clean shots, because they can't see, and they have a window where they have to get the jersey off as quick as they can, so you can let loose again. So you try, like, it's a bit like if you've done Brazilian jersey with the gi on, you know, like tying up arms, you know, like collar grips, you know, like pin stuff. It's very much the same in an ice hockey fight, you know, because they're trying to do that, trying to pull the jersey across so they can't move their arm. The technical ones, there's a whole there's a whole sort of technical side of things with the fights. So it's like now, you know, I always come home from the gym and I say to Tom, I fucking wish I had known a fucking club fucking 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't, I'm a big believer you can't do that, you know, as much as you wish, because that's you sort of think in the past. You wouldn't be the person you are now if you'd have been at a club earlier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%,
You wouldn't have made the mistakes, and you wouldn't have experienced the things you've experienced, and you wouldn't be who you are now.
Yeah.
If you had, you know, you're thinking that if the club had been here before,
yeah,
because you're thinking probably about like your ability to move, you know, your more knowledge, you know, fitness levels, flexibility levels, and all that things, and different opportunity that would maybe present you.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be who you are now.
I know. It is one of those things. Like, so we're going back to.
Oh yes, ice hockey. So I stopped playing ice hockey when I was 21. I stopped playing ice hockey when I was 21, and then I was like, I'm not doing any more team sports. What can I do? And I had a friend of mine, Stuart Gowden. He was training down in Frames. My other friend was telling me, Divers was telling me that he was doing MMA down the road, but he was saying like, I was like, oh man, he was like, no, cage fighting. Like, right? Yeah. And he showed me a video of him at one of his first fights, and I remember watching. Now it was all pixelated because it was on the phone back then. It was all pixelated, you couldn't really see it. Yeah. But I could make it, and I was like, fuck, that looks mad. And I was like, he's like, I'm gonna go down for a training session. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go down too then. Went down, and it was a tight MMA. Now, this club, I love telling stories about it because, I mean, it was, the gym was just rotten. No way. Like, I mean, there was holes in the mats. So it was the top floor of Frames, you know Frames, remember Frames in town? No. There's no bar, it was like no bar, and there would be like pool tables and stuff. I think it's closed now. It's near like Union Street. It was like there's a Belfast Telegraph, the back of the Belfast Telegraph. That had been Frames in there. And so I went upstairs, first session. So I thought I was half fit, and I thought I could sort of handle myself. I think my body's not that. I wasn't fit at all. No. And I got humbled so quick. Like left with a decent black eye. And I just remember leaving, going like, that was unbelievable. I just had such a buzz from it, and what I realised straight away after the first session, I was like, I could, nobody could say no. It's like, if I want to fight, I just train as hard as much as I can, and then the coaches will say, yes, we'll get you a fight, and then in the fights, they'll say, you know, like, if I win a fight, then I move on and I can progress, but in my head, I was going in just as a hobby, and that's what it was a hobby, but the coaches, like, they were pure proper, like, Northern Irish rednecks, which they were unreal, like Mark and Owen,
like Dizzy Fresh, you know, the old Dizzy Fresh.
Yeah, but I think like them boys were like worse than that, so they were like, I mean, they were worse than that. They were worse than that. Like, wow. Yeah, like the club was like, if you think of like Fight Club, the movie, that's what it was like, and the boys like technique wise, they were taught you was like all offense, absolutely zero defense, which in my head, you know, it's like it's good, but. Like the sessions were just so hardcore. Like Friday night at Frames, that's when you were going in for a ding dong. Like, and like people then eventually started coming with carry-outs to watch the sessions. Like that's not a word with that. And then half the time, so like see if the boys were wanting to watch a ding dong, they're like, right, there's two in the corner, so it says your room, right? So like literally like boys would have been here and this would have been the space to spar, and they would have just made a wall, right? So you had the wall, so like if you went close then it would just push you back in. Yeah. You know, and that's the way it went. And then some weeks they'll be like, right, well, organise for next week, he's two to spar. Or I'll lure someone from another club down and we'll get this one. I swear it was bad, like the boys used to just they would have had carry-outs. Like the messiest one was our Christmas do. Christmas, so the boys would have made
Royal Rumble?
Oh, like the boys would have made their own beer, so they used to own a beer called, I don't think it goes anymore. It was called Farmageddon, that was their beer. And so they were already making their own like beer and patching and stuff like that. So like for our Christmas do,
you were all outside digging?
No, so our Christmas do was started off with us sparring up the stairs, right? And then we had like pizzas or something and a few beers, and then we went out to the bar. And then before we went out to the bar,
No way.
I'll not name bars, but we went out to the bar and we only got into the bar because they knew the doorman would have trained us.
Yes.
And I just remember this walking into the place and the doorman were just like, because we knew them, they were like, it was literally like, you remember that scene from the Peaky Blinders where he goes, no fucking fighting,
Yes.
no fucking fighting. I was
Yes.
literally on the way in, I was like, no fighting, no fighting. I took my name for it, no fighting, no fighting. And like, to be fair to the boys, like we were literally in about an hour and a half, and within an hour and a half, obviously, I just remember seeing big fella Peter like on the dance floor, and this fella just gripped him by the throat. This boy was huge. That was the best hip I'd ever seen in my life. He just went here, just pushed his elbow in, just ducked the head, and then all that broke loose like. Yeah, so
good days.
Oh yeah,
Good
but
days.
it was a good club. Like it definitely built the style of fighter that I am to a certain degree. So I started off there, and then I went back to ice hockey. I got lured back into ice hockey for a year and a wee bit, and then I came back into the sport when I was 23. But then Taijutsu MMA had sort of closed, the boys had stopped coaching, and then I started training with Peter Lavery down in Kyojin, and Jimmy Crawford was there, Muay Thai coach who owns Mango Muay Thai. So I was training a lot with them, and then got back on the scene fighting. And then,
so were you working it?
was I working full time? Oh yeah, I've always worked full time. So I said MMA was just a hobby. So I'd start playing ice hockey, and MMA was a hobby, and then.
So it's always like a wee bit of a transition period, isn't it, where you go full time or something?
Well, so I was just fighting amateur. So I was just fighting amateur, and it was literally I would just be training, and then. The coaches would just say, here's a fight. So like when I was with the Taijutsu boys, I was training about 6 months, and the boys said, do you want to have a fight? And I was like, yeah, 100% I'll have a fight. And then, so that fight's quite funny, because back then it was a lot different. So it was like, you had to help do your way in, but I just weighed in down at the show because I was sitting at the weight I was fighting at.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to do any leg day before weigh in. And then it was down in Dublin, and I remember like getting ready to fight, and the boys, they used to have like these shorts. If I find a picture, I'll show you them. Like these shorts, like were meant to be shorts, but on me were like 3/4 lengths. So as the guys fighting like fucking 3/4 lengths on. I think there's a couple of boys see me fight when I fought at the King's Hall with these things on, right? Swear.
You gotta get the photo.
I'll have a fight, yeah, that's not right. But like they're literally like 3/4 lengths. I must be the only guy fighting with 3/4 lengths. They're definitely not like the shorts these days.
No.
But it was literally, here, boy, just put these on. That's what it was. Here, boy, put them on. You're like, Mark, here, put them on. Wear them. Because they had these stits, so they thought these things were awesome. Like, yeah, you'll be fighting with my shorts on. I bless them, like, you know what I mean? They went out of their way to get us. They got me these shorts.
Yeah.
But, like, it made me look like, I can't. But flip me, like, it made me look about 4 foot. So your man couldn't see my quads because they were covered in these shorts.
It's kind of like when you see like Tyson Fury and all fighting. They've got them up
yeah, right up
they're
there.
trying to disguise,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd love to see that. But
But your boy ended up fighting. Like I remember, I'm just mentioning this because it was funny because so I'm behind the curtain ready to walk out, and I'm like on the one side, and I'm sort of like bouncing, can't wait to get going. And in my head at the time, I thought, no fighting, you have to be angry. That's all about aggression. So I was trying to like be angry and build myself to be angry. Then I looked across, and I remember looking across, and I'm like, who's that? Why is he topless? This boy was about 6'2". And I remember like bouncing, I'm going to Iron Rainey, I'm like, who's that guy?
how's he fighting?
He's like, don't worry about him. Because they just realised we hadn't seen my opponent, like, that must be his guy.
No way.
And so I walked out, and walked out the flipping, I wasn't even my son, Chris Brown or something. I'm walking down, there's a picture where I'm walking down a hood up, literally walking down, angry face, because that's what the boy says, shut up. Walk in the cave, and flipping, I'm in the cave, and the next thing your boy's coming down, obviously he's walking down, looking at me, and I'm trying to stare him out, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's walking down with a huge smile on his face, and I'm going, this dickhead's laughing because of my height, and he's 6'2". I mean, he was massive. Next thing, there's not a chance you're seeing me as me, and I remember like in that fight going, right, fuck, how am I getting around this boy? And the good boys were like, just stand tight. Stand tight and get in them. I was like, stand tight and get in them. If I was you trying to get to the ground, alright. Now, to be fair, I should have won that fight. I lost on decision, but the fight should have been stopped in a second. Like, I must have spent about a minute and a half punching the head of this boy on the ground. I'd be on YouTube somewhere. Then the third round, 2 was for gas with adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
And like, it was, I mean, there was none in it, but like the fights had been stopped. But anyway, it was a good lesson. I think I fought again, I think it was like four weeks later again. I fought at the King's Hall and then won that one. That was a good experience, but as I said, that's how it worked. It was literally like, coach would say, "Do you want to have a fight?" And in my head, I was like, "Oh yeah, happy days. I'm trained. I'm going to get to use these skills." And then I was, you know, it was a great buzz. It was unbelievable buzz.
And then, so what age were you then?
I'd have been 20. So I was 21 when I first fought.
21.
21.
So it's kind of like, how did you manage? Because obviously you'd find something you loved then, and it's like most guys, you always find something you love, and then temptation kicks in. How did you manage, you know, drink, women, you know, other distractions? Did you have it, or did you just love it that much you were knee deep?
I've never been, so as I said, I've been sporty and athletic since I've been a kid.
Yeah.
Sport and sort of competition has always been sort of like my sort of like
Buzz
for me. Yeah. So like I've been very blessed and lucky that I met my wife when I was 16.
Fair.
And I'm not a drinker. As I said, I enjoy a pint of Guinness, I enjoy a glass of wine.
Yeah.
But I was never that guy when we were kids that went out to the clubs every weekend and got drunk. I went out to the club when I was 14 with my friends, got in, right. Tried to do it again. I think a couple of weeks later, the bouncer made an absolute dickhead out of me in front of everyone. And you know what? That was probably the best thing that happened to me because I was like, I'm never going in the club until I'm 18.
It was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise because I got so embarrassed. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. Where my friends in school were like, they were doing it and they were going, they were like, oh, they got turned away, and then still went back.
Yes.
Because obviously the attraction of being in the clubs, obviously back then there was clubs. You were like, we're 90s, I don't think they have clubs like realistically, like what used to be around. So it was, I never enjoyed it. And then I've always been very aware of like, not the muck about with their temple, the body don't muck about, you know, and I was very aware that obviously you come from France, people drinking, and I grew up, you know, seeing drinkers, background drinkers, and I knew what it done to people, so it never appealed to me. It's like smoking drugs never appealed to me.
Very good.
I just don't like losing control.
Yeah.
And it never appealed to me, so it didn't. So I was lucky that way that I've never had that. So when it comes to MMA, it was like, that was like my hobby, and it was like a release. So we went to work. Everybody had their wee spell of trying to do bodybuilding in the gym, but I was doing my bodybuilding to get bigger for ice hockey because they were telling me to put on size. But I always liked to be athletic, and I just thought if I can learn more to be able to defend myself, as in like just for in life. But I was like, I just got so into the sport of like it's 1v1. It's about who knows more and who's more present and who can use it. On the day, and that's what I got really into then. You know, that's what
I love that because I'm the guy that shakes on a Friday. Fuck. If I could just get my weeks just running together, I'm that guy.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas you seem to be, you know, that guy. Like,
well, in certain things, I prioritize certain things, and then this looks like for the last 5-6 years now. My priority completely changed, where priorities would have been like, I made sure I done this, where obviously once I became self-employed and stuff, then priorities changed, but I said that's me skipping loads of stuff that missed in the middle, like.
No, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So it's just because obviously to be a martial artist, it takes a lot of discipline. Do you know what I mean? And discipline's a transferable skill. You know, you've got your martial arts, you've got people, you know, self-employed people, you've got, you know, just in life, I think discipline is a great.
It's the biggest skill and the best skill you need. It's discipline.
If you have any advice,
without discipline, there's nothing.
I call it snakes and ladders. It's like without discipline, every now and again, I just fucking go down the ladder. Back to square one.
Exactly. So discipline is the most important skill to have in life, because if you think about it, without discipline, the world doesn't function.
Yeah, or order.
Yeah,
You know?
well, because we need discipline for everything. Like as parents, you need to have discipline.
Absolutely. So what age did we get to there?
Oh, 21.
21. Because that's what I'm saying. When you know, obviously I was 21 before. But I'm thinking our landscapes look really different then. Because I had no discipline, and you were installed with a healthy amount of it to start with. I'm thinking.
And then I had to take a break from sports because I had to go away to work. That's what I did. So.
And where were we working?
I was working in Germany then. I had to go away to work because there was no. So I was a.
Just doing the floors.
Yeah, I was a contract floor there at the time. So contract floor there, and there was no more work over here. And then so I ended up going away to work in Germany on cruise boats. Fitting out cruise boats. So for a period of time, and then ended up eventually coming home and being like, right, I'm getting out of the floor then again. I was like, it's not worth it.
So how long were you over in Germany? And what stage were the cruise ships at when you were working on them?
Oh, like bare bone, like.
Yeah.
So like they were parked up in the dock, bare bone, like, still being welded, piece welded, and like certain half of them were still being welded up, like inside and stuff.
Because
I was mad.
Bad times as in
like the life I was living there, as in like
working all day and then just.
So it was night shift. I was meant to go to do 12 hours night shift, and then like the 12-hour night shifts, would just get ramped up to longer and longer.
Were you getting paid per hour, or was this a job?
It was meant to be per hour. It was all hourly, but the attraction to it was like I was going to get £1,000 a week.
Yeah. For
12-hour shifts a day, right? But obviously the 12-hour shifts then got cranked up, and then you're meant like I'll write up to 20 hours and stuff, and like so
night shift too?
Yeah, so night shift, so it was bad, and then your whole system goes up the left, like.
Absolutely. How long that going for?
So it was like on and off for about almost 6 months, I think, on and off. Yeah, so like obviously you would do so many weeks and then you'd come back for like a week or like so many days, like 4 days or something, and you go back away. So you would, but it was the environment there as well was just so hostile. Like so.
The people.
Yeah. So you would have had like a big Polish community that had been there, and Russians and loads of foreign communities and mixed in, and like everybody there's just trying. Oh yeah. So like a lot of communities would have been like they would have went in there and money, and then it just blew their money by going to the bar or like buying a bottle of vodka, and just like they would just be functioning alcoholics. It was like winter in Germany, like I mean it was so cold, like like you brought in like boiling water in me, like for the boys like to have a cup of tea. Yeah. And like I remember like one time we were having the joke, like they just poured out the boiling water on top of the metal sheet of the the boat, and it just froze over like within seconds. And then we were like some days when you were like we couldn't go to work because it was that cold, so you couldn't actually fill the floors because it was so cold. So they had to wait until they brought like heaters in and stuff, so you lost certain nights, so everything then fell back, and then all hell broke loose, and then they were like right everybody in at the same time.
The whole morale was
just it was just mad, and then people would like every day the people would just near fighting with each other, like all that. The only Polish I knew was kurwa, because that's all you heard all day, and I'm pretty sure that's the word fuck, that's all it was. These Polish people were absolute birds. They're absolute
Polish birds.
You want to see them shifting things around, like I was strong as a bull then as a floor there, but I mean, I just remember these men just like something that would have maybe take 4 men that left, I was taking one, and you're like, how are you doing this every day? Drunk.
Hungover.
Not even hungover. They just stayed drunk. They never hit the hungover stage. They stayed drunk through it and just functioned. Crazy. Yeah, so that was mad, and then I came back. I said, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, so I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. The attraction of the money was not enough for me. It was like the lifestyle was.
Some people not way.
I think I'm ready to bar. Did you see me starting to shiver and see me starting to go?
It's not like it was on a cruise ship in Germany.
So anyway, stopped, left the floor line industry. Got into worked in the one of my old ice hockey coaches, he had a still laser in
Were you
the
getting paid to play ice hockey? Or
no, I wasn't getting paid. I was getting my travels,
expenses and stuff.
Expenses and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Germany, back home.
And then I was like, I'm not an ice hockey in the head, and then I was like, what will I do? Oh, I'm gonna go back to training. I'm gonna go back, and then tried to reach out to the Taijutsu boys that said they closed, and I was like, I only knew frames, so then I remember there was a club next door as well, but I just thought it was dominantly a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club.
Yeah.
So I just remember reaching out to Peter Dabra, and he's like, no, we do MMA as well, and then Jamie's here for Muay Thai, and I was like, oh, then I went down, so got into Peter Dabra, he trained there, and then that's when I first started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the gi.
Yes.
I never trained gi before, so obviously Peter would be a very big into training a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the gi, so done a lot of gi training, so a lot was classical gi training, and then the MMA, but I dominantly was doing a lot of Muay Thai then with Jamie, and it was great, like, you know, there was some characters down there, and then had a good few fights, and then that's when I'm on the amateur title, the Clan Wars title, and then, but most of my training partners were like all massive, so I fought a flyweight, so I didn't have no flyweight training partners. So then I ended up moving up to the next generation with Rodney and that's when I ended up there, and that's when sort of everything became a bit more serious.
So just to go back a few steps, you won your first titles, did you say there?
I won the first title, yeah.
What was that, Clan Wars, did you say?
Clan Wars, yeah.
What did that feel like?
It was good, it was in the Ulster Hall as well, so it was nice.
Yeah, it was
nice.
Big crowd.
Yeah. So I fought a few times in the Ulster Hall, and I have my first fight back then for Peter was in the Ulster Hall. I won by knockout in less than a minute in that one, and it was great. I just remember then I was such a buzz.
Yeah.
And then it just progressed on from there, just getting different fights and learning.
Just all like skill acquisition, or?
Oh yeah, like so just.
Because obviously I've watched a few of them, and you seem to put it all together really smoothly.
Oh, when you're on, when I was on, yeah. But this is why I try and teach the boys and
you know, it wasn't like, you know, you're on the ground now, oh, you're striking now. It just all seemed to be
transitioning.
The transitions were beautiful and smooth and natural, and it, you know, because you know it's mixed martial arts, but you know, the fights of yours, I watched it. There was nothing mixed about it. It was all one, if you know what I mean. It was really cool to watch. But how many hours were you putting in, like? I thought
to be fair, I wasn't putting as many hours as what some people think. So like, so I had to maybe train 3 nights a week at the club, because obviously then I'd have been working as well. Yeah. So obviously work life would have always took priority because I had bills. Yeah. But like say I remember one night I went down and I trained like it was like 4 hours in one night, you know, like just because like I would train in Peter's classes. So say I'd have been down maybe like would have been like I think it was maybe like 5 first class, maybe been around by 5, and then I wouldn't have left at like probably about 9. Then I'd have been with, you know, finished off and so like done say a gi class and then done MMA class and then done Muay Thai class. Might have been like the pads, and then after that it might have been like pads or like clinching work. Yeah. And so I would have accumulated hours with like in one night, but then I was busted. Then I was wrecked. I mean, the battery was knackered. So.
Oh, you were sore.
Yeah.
The next day you were sore.
You were just sore all the time. Like, I mean, you were getting hammered. Like, so you were just sore all the time. But it conditioned my body for sure. So like my body just got so conditioned and used to it. But so yeah, I would train 3 times a week, and then I would have done extra training outside of that myself.
Cardio kind of, or weight?
Well, just so from like just whatever, it would have been like maybe weight training, or I'd have maybe seen if someone was free to then like hit pads at the gym or something, you know, I'd have done something.
And then, so did you look at it like...
It was a hobby.
Yeah.
Totally a hobby.
Yeah.
But it was a hobby and a release and a way for me to sort of like still get my fix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My endorphins.
Yeah,
so
that was your fix as opposed to being tempted away from.
Yeah, so like I said, it was totally a hobby. It was always a hobby. That's what I tell the guys in the gym. I was like,
keep it fun kind of thing.
But it was
no
like
pressure.
So my mindset was never like oh, I'm getting in this sport and I'm going to end up over here. It was
Yes.
like literally, I enjoyed doing this, it was fun. I never took it too serious. Obviously, when I was competing and when I was competing on the mat in the gym, I was serious.
Yeah.
And then when I was fighting, I was going with the intentions always to win. Hence why, you know, like when I went out, I never went out with like a game plan. It was never like I'm going the distance or I'm trying to survive.
Take it to the ground.
My game plan was always like I'm trying to finish this, and it was like if I get finished on the way, then I get finished, and that was my mindset. And then I always, my head was like, as entertainment. I had friends who paid money to watch me fight. So my mindset was like, I'm going to show them a fight. And I'm going to fight. Which, something, you know, to a certain degree, the IQ wasn't there yet. Very much, I think, the coaching was very much about learning techniques and putting techniques together instead of like a lot of the coaching being put into like, as in performance-wise, when you're in competing, you know, having that fight IQ in there, which is something that I've developed and I push into the guys themselves.
But it's you know, everybody loves watching, you know, Gagey and Chandler.
Yeah.
They put the IQ, they leave it at the door.
But to a certain degree, they're like Gagey has an IQ because he, you know,
of course, that level.
That last fight there, he fought. I can't remember.
It was the other guy that's a fucking
I'm terrible with names, but he, you know, like Gagey's IQ was like, right, well, I'll not give him space, and he just he fought him in the pocket there. It's like then he knew that he was going on the uppercut, but you know what I mean? So,
and it's Chandler.
Chandler the swinger.
Yeah, he's. I think he knows now. What did you just say? It's like when he's fighting on the very done the two backdrops.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like you always thought that.
Not do that.
You go in deeper. You know, like, but like he.
But it was entertaining.
Yes, so in his mind, he's winning anyway. Whether he gets
it's the fans' favourite kind of thing. So, and ultimately, it's the fans that are paying their wages. So, and I think, you know, obviously he's lost a couple of times.
Yeah.
So he's lost that kind of. Oh, is it? Yeah. I think it's healthy to get that monkey off your back early or something.
But the loss?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good.
How did you take your first loss? I'm assuming you've lost.
Oh, yeah, I lost. Like, you know, how did I take my first loss? Well, I said my very first loss was my first fight.
In fucking frames at the Christmas do.
Many of them, there was many of those things. There was many of those. But no, my first loss was obviously my first fight, because I lost on decision. I lost on decision against that big 6-footer. Where I thought,
if you hadn't been wearing trousers,
I think if, the judges were like, he's wearing trousers. But
you gotta get the photo, man.
Well, you can get a video, you can see it. But I just remember, I had that fight, and then it was my wife's 21st birthday the following weekend or something, and I remember showing up at the event, you know, at her birthday, and people were all asking me about it, and some people were raking me about it, and they're like, oh, you got your marks knocked in, blah blah. I had no marks on my face, like, so then, and I just remember, like, that's where I learned about my ego.
Okay.
Because very much, you know, people get offended and annoyed with things with their ego when they take things personal.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was, in my head, I was like, oh, I knew I won. I knew what I can do to get better. So it was like, to me, it was like, oh, well, it's good that it's happened now, because then that's it, you know, it's like, it's done. I've learned so much from it.
Absolutely.
So with any time I lost a fight, there's always positive to be taken out of it, as in like learning. Hence why the motto with most gyms will be like, you win or you learn. You know, you know. But like that, So you know, most gyms will have that motto, because if you approach it with, like, you know, and just stay stuck on it, where
it means something else.
Yeah, it means,
as opposed to
so like, yes, you lost, but sometimes, you know, like you like, well, there's you know, like, say last Saturday, Dominic's fight.
Yes.
You know, like he made some mistakes, but I scored it that Dom 1-1.
Yeah.
But because he let it go to the judges, certain judges didn't score it that way. You know, and he lost.
Yes.
So, but there's so many positives that he's taken away from that fight. Yes, we didn't walk away with a belt, we didn't walk away with a W, but again, he's only an amateur.
And that's where you want to be having your losses.
You know what I mean?
You want to be having
like I said, you know, and I tell
your craft.
So, and it's like young Jack Drysdale, you know, like, again, He was winning the fight, didn't listen to me. So he didn't listen to me, but he was fantastic in his fight. The confidence that he's got from it is huge. So I expect him to push on and do even way better next time, and listen to me this time, and we'll get the W. So it's great that it's happened now. That was his amateur debut.
Yeah.
Now, Jack, he's had 3 novice fights, lost all those, but with each one, his performance has got better.
Confidence.
That one there, everybody said to me, Flip, I hadn't seen Jack fight in a while, but my gosh, I could just see the difference in him. He was so much better.
Yeah.
So again, it's his first amateur fight. Yes, his first experience in fighting. He's lost 4 fights. Right? It's very easy to get put off. But the kid keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, right, he's taken away. Every fight, he's right, I knew I'd done this wrong. But he's learning and he's learning.
You almost want to lose your first 4.
Again, the more, like,
that's what you're learning.
Yeah, but in every life lesson, like, even as kids, if you don't make mistakes, how are you supposed to learn?
Exactly.
So more mistakes you make, the better. As long as it doesn't affect anybody else, like, that's that's all right. You know what I mean?
But it's so true, but you can't tell someone that.
Because they want to be perfect.
Yeah.
But that's their ego. The ego comes in the place, and that's the ego comes in the place.
I also think it's a Northern Irish thing. If you didn't do your homework correct in primary school, your dad beat you. You know what I mean? And it was like,
I've heard this.
Yeah, and you were like, you're fucking sitting shitting yourself. You didn't know how to do your homework, and you were just waiting on it.
Right.
The first mistake you made doing your homework in primary school as a kid, your dad fucking walloped you. And it was like, how can you get something perfect without, because I know that's how I learn.
Perfect's a strong word.
Get it right.
Yeah, for sure, get it right. But
how do you kind of refine whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's cleaning carpet or learning how to strike? It's like Bruce Lee. You'd rather, what is it, like master one kick than 1,000?
Bruce Lee, hopefully I don't butcher the quote.
Yeah.
He didn't fear the man that practiced 1,000 kicks, different kicks. He feared the man that practiced one kick 1,000 times.
Yeah. So is that 999 subtle mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So if anything comes out of this show, we need to pass on that it's okay.
It's okay to make mistakes.
It's okay to make mistakes.
Make mistakes.
Make them. Have a healthy attitude towards me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's another wee quote. I probably will butcher it. But it's if you knew you were only 30 mistakes away from your ideal life or whatever, how quickly would you make them mistakes?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
You try and get that first night very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
So no, I love all that stuff. But again, once upon a time, say 30 years ago, when I had like a wee ambitious streak to be self-employed or whatever. There was no podcast, there wasn't even mobile phones, there wasn't internet in the house. I had to sneak off to the library, and you'd have swore I was fucking sneaking off to do something bad. Like, it was like, there was no peer group or anything that would have been supportive of going to the library to read a book on something I had an interest in that wasn't accessible anywhere else. That's why I love these podcasts.
I love podcasts.
That's where I get educated, man. Do you know what I mean? Because education doesn't stop. At school. I know how boring that sounds like, but it's true.
I'm not getting into that one, so we can go down like realistically, what is school prepping you for? They're prepping you to work at 9 to 5, so they're prepping you to be the working ant. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you've got your uniforms and all.
They're teaching you certain skills, but like, we're self-employed.
Yes.
Right? There is not really anything in school that drives or teaches kids to be self-employed. I don't know what school's like now. It's like, you're not being taught how to do your own tax return. Yeah, we're doing maths, but you're not being taught how to do a tax return. You're not being taught,
Well, here's the biggest takeaway I find. School doesn't teach you how to manage your credit score.
Mm-hmm.
In adult life, if you blow your fucking credit score out the window, you ain't getting too far ahead. No. You need your credit score sitting tidy if you want your mortgages, your hire purchase on the car. Is it still your mobile phone? So what was never even mentioned in all of primary school, all of high school, blah blah blah. That's fucking quite a cornerstone in adult life.
Yeah. And what about health and nutrition wise?
Oh, all that.
HE.
Fuck. HE.
Exactly.
I didn't even fucking bring any ingredients in for HE.
But in HE they don't teach you then about calories, they don't teach you about nutrients correctly. They don't teach you about
foods nowadays for kids and
it's all preservatives and salt.
It's all I see it as a form of entertainment. Kids see food as entertainment, eat that for fun.
Yeah.
What about nutrition? What about fuel? What about your body trying to repair itself? What about just
hormone imbalancement? There's lots of things you can go into.
Yeah, that's a fucking podcast on its own. But tell me this: you have some nice sweet dinners you put up. Do you like the carnivore? Is it all meat?
Oh well, I would eat like animal based sort of diet, if that's what you call it.
Yeah.
And so like I would be very much
protein,
high protein, high fat diet. And
was it steaks you go for, or
steak, mince, steak sausages, but I try and get everything from like butchers. And, so
what about fruit and veg, or
I would eat some fruit and veg, but just not as much. So as I said, my carbohydrate intake's a lot. I eat more like quick release carbohydrates instead of slow release carbohydrates.
So porridge would be slow release.
Yes.
So do you have so did you just go straight into meat and eggs kind of?
So I would fast. So I'd fast most days. And
most days?
Yeah, almost every day. Yeah. Fast.
So how do you do fasting most days?
So like
you don't do a 24-hour fast, obviously.
No, I don't do a 24 hours fast. I mostly fast for about 16 hours. I do, and then I have a window, so I have a window of eating. So like obviously I would try and eat between 1 and 5, and then.
So you no breakfast, and no supper.
Well, there's things that like society's pushed on us.
I know.
Like meals are meals,
Yeah.
Like, breakfast is because that's your first meal, and that has to be in the morning.
I know.
It's very.
No, I get all that.
Yeah. And then again, you look at your average breakfast. What's breakfast? It's like cereals, right?
Yeah,
sugar.
I know.
Who like you have to start off with your breakfast, and you have to start off with this. Who pushed that? All these big companies. Who's got you spending on it?
It's the big companies pushed it. They were like, right, what resources we got here? I go, we've got cows and milk. Okay, well, how can we sell more of it? What about this concept? We were talking about in the board meeting there, this breakfast concept. Can we talk about that a bit?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There was no breakfast once upon a time.
How do we make more money off these working ants?
Yeah. Just make shit up.
Yeah, exactly. And then people are like, oh,
right. Buy into it. Because it's kind of like, obviously we're the generation that can remember, mobile phones. But I look at the girls now, and it's stuck to their head.
Yeah,
they don't remember a time where there was no such thing as a mobile phone or an iPad or and it's just kind of.
Well, to a certain degree now, these mobile phones are like part of like the humans now, so they are.
Yeah, well, the next stage is sure the pods, the earpods and all. So they're. The argument is we're transitioning towards being robots now.
Yeah,
The second you apply some device to you, you're in that narrative of
you mean implanted?
Well, yeah, you can get the implants, but even it being external, you're still having a modified device added to you. So that's the start of the robot kind of narrative that humans are being kind of pushed down. But we're almost enemies. You try taking my phone off me now. I have no work. I suppose this is why I like this wee podcast too, because it gets the world to see another side to me too. Because I'm just a fucking dickhead on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? Because I always try and be entertaining, just to stay on the radar. Even if I know I'm not being funny per se, I know that if I'm not on the radar, I don't get any work.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking, fuck, I haven't posted today. And me and Tommy were maybe arguing, and I'm just not great. I'm not feeling funny, like I still have to act it.
Okay, right,
Because I know that that'll create engagement, and I know that leads on to work. It's just the way it is. So I'm like, right, I'll say something stupid. But it's not truly who I am. I just know I have to be entertaining, because that's my modern day advertisement, as opposed to years ago you'd put an ad in the paper and wait the next week. I know when I'm posting on Facebook, I don't care what people think, or I'm not trying to be cool, or I'm not trying to, blah blah blah. I'm trying to engage the audience to drum up some work.
Yeah, you're trying to get attention.
I'm trying to get attention.
Yeah, which in this sort of world now,
That's
it's like
the commodity.
Yeah, but it's like it's very hard to get the attention, because especially if you're trying to get the attention through a social media, everybody's sort of attention span is down to like less than 30 seconds now. So when they're flicking through now, hence why all these videos is like something dramatic and extreme, and then it cuts into an ad. That's what they're all doing now. That just shows you like the way the monkeys have sort of evolved. It's like boom, 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 and it's like, oh, what's that? And then actually it's an ad, and then it's caught my attention. I'm very much, social media is good, but it's bad. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with it, as in like I'm crap at it. Yes, some of the stuff I do.
No, I like it. Your branding's brilliant. Whenever your videos from Hybrid, kind of burst onto the scene, they were all black and white.
Yeah, it's staying black and white as well.
And it's staying black and white.
Staying black and white.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because because that everything's more explosive and colourful and fucking 1080p fucking screens, you know, and yours is all black and white.
But then one of the main reasons also, that's one of the main reason also, so obviously the branding's black and white, but also black and white, so I had Sam Watkins, do you know Sam? You probably met Sam. He's a musician as well, but Sam would help me quite a lot with when it comes to like creativity and stuff. He owns Cult Media. So he does, so he would do all like a lot of the reels and the videos and all that. Yeah, like so most of my videos that are on social media, Sam's done them. And Sam also, he's a great guy that you can bounce ideas and he'll always give you an honest opinion back. Yeah. And he just has this brain that's unbelievable, that he can just like see things very well, and it's like if you see him like I want to do this, and then he'll go like look at it from the outside and be like, that might look like this, look like that, but if this is what you're going for, that's 100%. But if you're thinking this is like you don't want this to be attached with it, I wouldn't suggest doing that. So he's my go-to guy that I would throw ideas to, and then he'll give me an honest opinion.
So the one the other day was brilliant because of the soundtrack.
Oh, so that one wasn't, that wasn't Sam, that was Jamie. That was Jamie, so it was, so yeah, that was Jamie.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I could have watched that all day.
The disco hands on yeah, so that was in the wrestling class, but so back to the black and white, the main reason why I'm in black and white is because before, many times when you've uploaded or taken pictures, you get people messaging you, complaining, be like, I look like shade in that, or look at this. And then you're like, well, if everybody's in black and white, nobody like knows whether you're pale or you're tan or you know what I mean?
So what's up the thought process?
A lot of it was that, because aesthetically it looks better.
I think it looks like class.
Yeah, and then B is like most people aren't going to be annoyed with the picture, and the chances of them resharing the picture is higher because they're more comfortable with how they look. Because most people when they get a group picture or a video are subconscious about like how they look, and they're conscious about people's opinion about them and that whole thing. So the aim for me was like, if I make my content aesthetically pleasing to the people that are in the content, hopefully they will share it, and then by them sharing it, then it travels a bit further. That's my mindset.
It's all exposure.
Yeah.
So we've done the start. We've done the
I don't know where we're at now. I don't know. That's like I said to you before, I'm terrible at these things. I go away. I go off the subject.
It's the tangents I love. Because as I say, there's just a loose framework, start, middle, and what the future holds. So we've done the start, we've done the middle, we've done a few tangents.
I think we've done the middle, and I think we're half of
that. Well, here, anything you want to disclose?
No. So yeah, I think we left a couple of fights, blah blah. I went to Next Generation.
Yes.
So then I defended. I went and moved to Rodney's on Ballymena.
Did you make fights, or did you
No, travelling up. Yeah, so like I was away for like them 4 hours plus. Traveling up. And then so it was up then work wise. Fast forward, had many jobs from being like floor layer, press brake operator, welder, in the kitchens, working as a comedy chef, KP.
Oh really?
Yeah, Bistro Rest on the Ballyhack.
Oh, very good.
So it was one of my favourite jobs ever. Like I learned a lot in that as well that I brought into the sport. Like that's like
nutrition wise.
Nutrition, but more like work ethic and being in the
right.
trenches. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Problem solving.
yeah, problem solving, and then just working as a team. Definitely is something that, like, you know, my kids grow up, like, if I can give them the opportunity, like, to work in a kitchen, I would definitely give it to them, because, like, it's serious craft.
Regimented as such.
Yeah, it's military, like, it's very military, and it's like, right, if you don't prepare, that's where, you know, like, prepare to fail.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, that's very much that came into me, you know, like, and my head chef and boss, David Adams, you know, he was fantastic, and he was very, I think he got trained over in England and stuff, but I think his chef was like French oriented, and it was very military.
Yeah.
And it was loads of banter, everyone was banter, like, I mean, the shifts were hard, like, I was working probably about, like, near enough 70 hours a shift, like, a week. It was mental. I had to stop, because I was, me and the wife then, like, it was close to, like, right, I'm not seeing you at all anymore, you know, like, you know, we're together, but I only see you in bed, and then you're away in the morning, and that was it. You know, and you stink like a fryer as well. You know, so I had to stop that. And then from that, it was like, I always wanted to be in the health and fitness industry.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I wanted to push on to do sports science.
Yeah.
When I was in school, it was like, no, don't do that. Get a trade. So I was pushed down the trade route, and I was chucked in. I was chucked into the classroom where I was like, I was chucked into this meeting. And to be fair, the teacher at the time, fair play to him, he was like, these are like the wee shits in my school.
Yeah.
I don't know how I ended up in that group. I thought I was alright, but I ended up in this group. And we were put in, and he brought this printer, this guy who owned a factory for printing, you know, managing printers.
Yeah.
And it was like, to try and get us an apprenticeship. And so the guy came in and explained why he'd rather try and get us an apprenticeship. And for play, I think a couple of boys took it on, but I said, I'm not working at printers. And I ended up, because I was already working, I'd worked from the age of 11. My first job was the age of 11. I had a paper run. Funny enough, we're talking about this, I was talking about Ezra, my son, about I was like delivering papers every day from the age of 11, and my wage was like £8 and 25p for the week. And Ezra was like, that's not very nice, Daddy. That's what he says to me. That's not very nice, Daddy. I was like, I know son wasn't very nice, but back then I thought I had a load of money, because £8 travelled a lot further. So that was the first job. It was like paper run. Ended up working at Knockbracken driving range when I was about 13, 14. Ended up working in the mace when I was about 15. From the mace, then I got into labouring for my boss. He got into like houses, buying houses, so me and my mate would go in and gut the houses out.
Very good.
And then from there, then I started. Then I got a scooter, and then I put an ad saying like I was able for like gardening and all that there.
So scooter?
Yeah, I had like a scooter. Yeah. So like a moped. Yeah. From the age of 16, on a moped, so it meant I could travel to get work.
More work.
So then I ended up working for this fella in Ballinhinch who he was sick, and I would maintain his house, so like done the gardens or any job, DIY stuff he needed me to do, and then. From there, then I got a job in the summer. Then for at the time it was my sister's boyfriend, whose company I ended up working for Floorland. He says to me, "Do you want to do some labouring work? You'll get £150 a week."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, 100%, I'll do that. £150." So then I was a labourer for the floor layers, and then I was offered an apprenticeship, and then that's how I got into that. And then from that, as I said, I got into then the floor laying, press break operating kitchens. Then I finally got, you know what? I'm going to get in the health and fitness industry, because I've always wanted to do this. I was like coming up to about the age 24, got my qualifications, ended up getting the job on the Lisburn Road, working in a private gym studio. Worked there for a year and a half, had a fallout with the owner, and then that was the last time I decided I would ever be employed, because that person tried to tell me they owned me.
No way, the master and the slave. Because I'm paying you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, you know what? That's the way I've always been treated. Now, there's, like I said, there's been certain bosses that didn't treat me like that. Or them bosses treat me like a slave. Oh yeah, I was treated like a slave.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, what? See, being an apprentice, that's what I tell some of the boys. Like, I mean, some of the stuff was mental. Like, I remember, like, getting picked up in a van. 2 pallets of screen in the back of the van, and I was lying on top of the screen to travel up the 5 mile town to do the school. You know, like health and safety, there was none of that. Absolutely not. Like, it was meant to be, there was none. It was like, if you don't like it, you're not getting paid. You were needing the wage. So I was paying rent in my house, in my mum's house, like from the age of 16. So it was like, I need to be able to pay my rent in my house. But again, it put that discipline in me. Right? So it did. So it was like, right, I can't give lip because I need to work.
Yeah.
If I have no work, I have no money. If I have no money, I can't do things.
Yeah,
I can't depend on my mum.
Yeah,
My mum's not going to give me the money to do stuff. So
But you still got that mentality that you're the man of the house.
man of the house, so I had to
You're
bring
coming-
money
you're
in.
coming under the bread, look.
Well, yeah, but my mum was working as well, but it was more like, if I wanted things, I had to get them myself.
Yeah,
You know, my
yeah.
mum provided for us, but
Yeah.
it was like, if I wanted other things, I had to get them myself.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to be able to do stuff with friends, or even with Haley, my girlfriend at the time, you know, I had to have my own money.
Absolutely.
So it was like, can't give lip, can't do that, blah blah. So that was all put in me, you know, through all the different jobs. But that's from the age of 11, knowing the worth of, like, obviously, without money, you can't do things.
I always say this world's pay to play, like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's pay to play, or just
Now I don't put money as king. Money's not king to me, like, you know. But obviously, I know without money, you know, until
the world doesn't go round.
It doesn't go round, but obviously currently, like, I've just got an allotment with my friends to try and grow food myself.
Yeah.
You know, because then they without food, then
But
we're
then
in trouble.
quality food.
It's quality food, yeah.
And
That's the main. That's the
you
main
know,
reason.
you
That's the
know,
main
you
reason
know
for it.
your soil. You know what you're putting on them. But yeah, no, I've fantasized with that idea myself.
Yeah, for sure.
I threw it into the conversation with Tommy the other time. I'm like, I keep saying to people, I think it's near allotment time. Like.
Oh yeah, and
You
but
know
like,
what I mean?
if you've got your own space and a bit of land, you're best off doing it on your own.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's definitely for sure, because then
You know what you're eating.
you know what you're eating, and you're not.
It's a big thing, like.
Yeah.
Because I have you noticed any time you buy fruit, the next day it's fucking off.
Well, that's a whole wormhole. That whole conversation is.
It just lends into the whole get your own allotment kind of.
Well, yeah, but again, you know, it's like everything. You know, you grow it or build it or raise it.
Yeah.
You know exactly how it's going to turn out, and you know exactly what you're getting. You know, again, most of the information we get, we have to take on somebody's word.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? You know, and then again, we're supposed to trust these authorities because they're supposedly the people that have been put there, and they're the people that are educating it, and they've got their best intentions for us. But do they really? We're the working ants. We're the working ants.
We are. All of it's flawed, like.
Yeah.
And even if you watch the movie, The Ants. Have you ever watched all those?
The cartoon one?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, there's
It's
all
like-
like
oh,
some
that whole
subliminal
fucking-
messages
yeah,
in
it's
there,
all
you know,
there, like-
like, honestly, but I said, I try to stay away from all those types of conversations, but they're like, I mean, I could probably come back and talk about all this.
Yeah.
But I said, yes, so got in the health and fitness industry, opened up my own studio, opened up, because obviously this is so this is obviously a business. Well, that's what I'm saying. We've missed a load of things. So I opened up my own studio. I don't think you'll have enough recording for this, but I opened up my own studio.
I'm just more worried about what time's the club opening?
You're my first, so eight. So
might skip that one.
I opened my studio literally 3 months before my wedding. 3 months before my wedding. So I made the decision. I was never working. I wasn't going to work for anybody else again. And I put a lot of pressure on me and Haley, because Haley was like, at the time we had our own house.
Yeah.
We had our own house, and my responsibility then was to pay my own bills and be able to provide with Haley for our house and food and stuff and cars.
And then everything just gets sprayed.
Yeah, so I just
the pressure, the time, the money, everything.
So obviously she was very worried. So me and my wife were opposites, but Haley's an overthinker, where I'm a deep thinker.
Yeah.
Overthinkers always think about the negative stuff.
Absolutely.
Where a deep thinker, I'm always thinking, right, how do I fix this? So that's my brain. I understand there's negative, but I'm not going to focus on that.
You focus on the solution.
How do I fix it? Find a solution. My brain will just keep going about the fix, like, right, how do I sort this out? And I was very lucky that my wife's aunt Lynn I just caught whisper of it. It was re-unit then on the Castlereagh Road. It was going for £240 a month.
Cracker.
£240.
Cracker.
Had radiators on it.
No, fuck, is it still open? Is you still get it?
Honestly, still to this day, I'm like, why did I leave that? So she was, and then it was like, right, she was like, right, and then she says to me, look, I said, I have no money. I said, I have no money. a TRX, I had a set of TRX cones, pads, 2 kettlebells, and 2 resistant bands, right? She said, I'll get you, I can get you £1,000 out of credit union. He said, right, £1,000. I was like, right, give me £1,000. I was like, hey, quick, then you pay that back. She's like, you know, pay it back, whatever.
Yeah.
So she got me £1,000 out of the credit union. With that £1,000, I spent it all on like, how could I make the place aesthetically pleasing, functional. Yeah. So I knew what I needed. People need a shower to go to work.
Yeah. So
the time my one-on-ones was all like either half an hour or an hour. And then, so I put a shower in, paint, rubber flooring, carpet, wee bench area, so people don't want to have their breakfast, so they want to work, blah, blah. And then whatever I had left, then I got a wee bit of equipment, like some kettlebells, I got barbell, a couple of plates, and a rack. Mad, £1,000. I stretched it, I stretched it.
You covered all areas.
I just checked and I was like, see whatever money I get, go back in. I worked like a horse, and I got married, blah blah, and.
But tell me this quickly, because a lot of people do jump into an entrepreneurial kind of adventure, but what a lot of people bypass is, they may be great at what they do, but there's no sales, marketing, or you know, brand awareness kind of, you know, where were you getting your work from? Where were you getting what was your sales strategy? You know, was it, you know, because, you know, people are turning up to get PT'd by you. How did you get them in? How did you get them in the door? Word of mouth. Just word of mouth. So you got the first one.
So I, because of the fallout with my last boss, there was other bits and bobs and threats came through. Like, you know, I got a solicitor's letter literally the day before my wedding, threatening me with all this crap. But anyway, it was like, I couldn't poach all like clients from that studio, but I never dancing to ever poach. Like, but again, it's like, you train me on one-on-one, but you're not my property.
Yes.
I do not own you. Yep. You have a free choice to come and train me. If you have a choice to go and train with somebody else after that, that is 100%. You're not contracted, and people aren't contracted in. But in the industry, people
you were in that space.
Yeah, but the mindset was like they're my property, they're my clients.
Yeah, that was his mindset.
Or hers.
Or her, sorry.
I don't mind, it's hers, right?
And she had the same attitude towards you.
Yes, true. That's to that certain. Yeah, yes, to that certain degree. This is all mine. This is all mine, right? But anyway, so it was obviously I learned quite a lot. But again, she started shouting the foot in that one there, because it was like my mind was like, I was going to open a franchise and stuff and stay on, you know, because I was like, my mindset was wherever I worked like it was my own business, and that's how I learned so many things, and I think that's what helped me being self-employed. But yeah, I just knew word of mouth was king, getting results was king. Yeah. And just making sure I delivered on what I was selling. Yeah. And then eventually I got more educated then with social media, because when I started, you posted something on Facebook, it travelled before they changed the algorithm. I mean, Facebook then was gold, because it was like, you got reach. You got reach, and I mean, it travelled so far. Like, numbers. I wish I would have been more educated then, and like, because then I would have known easier of like how to make things go viral, and not that I've done anything to go viral, but I mean, it's like there's a lot more. I've got educated a lot more.
There is a science to it.
Yeah, there is 100%, and then obviously because it was traveling so far, then Facebook and the social medias then were like, right here, actually we're giving this all away for free.
And that's when the advertising.
And then word of mouth. Then that's why I'm very much guerrilla style marketing. You know, old school. I think is definitely the way forward, in my opinion, because. Yes, social media works if you've got if you have the money obviously to pay for it.
Yeah, but it only works.
They're all the same ads these days. When it comes to health and fitness industry, it's like, I'm looking for 10 guys. I've been that guy. I've done that. I've done that, because as I said, I went from having my own studio, progressed to a bigger facility, brought a friend in. I'm just running quickly through it, right? Brought my friend in. Then set up, had the studio, and then I set up Hybrid up in Bangor with a friend as well. And then Ezra was born when I was doing those things. Then COVID hit.
Another
Learn to survive through that, adapted to learn to survive through that, then got to reopen. And then when we reopened, then that's where it was like, oh, we need to get word of mouth. Wasn't working, we needed advertisements. Then me and my friend invested in marketing agency. They're the worst.
I know.
The stress that brings on, it's unbelievable because, I mean, now you're in contracts and stuff, they are contracts and there's loads of stuff involved. And you're just like, right, I have to earn this much to pay them, and then I have to bring this in. And you're having to like to do all the stuff they're trying to teach you, and it's like all these like how to set up, like I don't even remember how to flip and call them, but it's like, you know, like they click this link, they fall in here and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, my mate
The landing pages.
Oh, and all that crap, my mate Jay. I was like, Jay, I can't do this. I was like, I'm not a salesman. There's nothing worse that I hate than being on the phone and trying to sell something. I'm not a salesman.
I know
As
that.
in, like, I'm not, like, my attitude when it comes to my business is like, I'm not trying to lure you into it.
Yeah.
Right? I want people to come in that are already willing and want to.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to sell you.
Yeah, don't have to convert them.
Yeah. I don't want
close them, preach to them.
It's like, look, this is me, this is what I offer.
Yeah,
You want to come and you want to do it, this is my prices, there's no hidden clauses, there's no none.
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah.
This is everything.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's like, if you want to do it, come, I'll help you and teach you and we'll have fun doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to force you.
Yeah.
If it's not for you, I'm not going to try and force you. I'm not going to, it's like, if I have a conversation with someone, right, I'm very opinionated, right? I am very opinionated. Most people who know me, I'm very opinionated. I'll tell you my opinion. If you don't like it, that's okay. That's your
okay
opinion,
too.
right?
Yeah.
If you think I'm a dickhead, that's okay. I'm not offended, right? And my friend, as I lures me in this sentence, is my friend's dad told me, this is one of the best things ever. He said to me, "There's no point in being a dickhead if you don't let people know about it." So the takeaway I got from that, this is great. The takeaway I got from it is like, don't try and be a people pleaser. Yeah, don't try and be a people pleaser. I'm nice and I'm polite to people, but like again, if there's something you say that I don't agree with, I'm not gonna like stay in the conversation and like continue on. I'm not gonna humor you because I'm like, right, I'm not agreeing with this. If you get offended with it, then that's unfortunate. Again, will our path cross over again? Most likely not.
Yeah.
So then that's it. I'm not gonna spend time and dwell on and think, oh, well, that dickhead there.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
a call back in.
That's that moment done. So over the years, I think people, you know, like people either like me or they don't.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, that's 100%. The chances of us cynics are very low, so it doesn't offend me. I don't get offended when people don't like me. So, and I'm not out there trying to try and get like with social media. So I'm going back to social media. I like see the whole following thing. I understand it, where most kids and people are desperate for those numbers to go up because I think those numbers going up to them psychologically is like, oh, I'm liked and I'm loved, and
it's the meaning they place on.
Yes, it's like this is where they get that reassurance.
And the meaning placed on the low numbers too.
It's like, oh, I'm not like, I'm not. Where it's like people like, so like Sam would tell me like, you know, like, oh, we need to get, you know, like get those numbers up because then that gets more exposure, and like that's my mindset, right? So I get more exposure, but then equally I'm like, yeah, but like Raul in flipping Brazil, how's he beneficial to me financially? You know what I mean?
I know.
Is Raul going to come in the gym? Unless Raul's flipping in martial art and he's travelling through Northern Ireland and drops in, happy days. But like, to me, it's like, I get more of a kick of like, see this? Engaging with people face to face. I've always been in, that's me, I love face to face.
And that's why you'll not see me on Twitter or...
It's called X now. Right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, you are on the money.
Oh, I know
about that.
I know about that.
Because just
I'm not on Twitter.
No, but it's because of what you touched on. I can't go to fucking Brazil and clean a sofa.
Yeah.
So I need to be localised.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, what's the point of having big numbers in Japan?
Yeah, that's why my video, I don't know if you remember the one where I land on top of the wall and I was like, are you ready?
Yes.
You know, like, and
right at the start.
Yeah, at the start, and you know that's been closed, that one. You can't hear the sound on it, that one anymore. The algorithm shut that down.
Stop it.
It did, they shut it down. It's probably one of my best videos too.
I know.
Right? Because obviously, I think my content, people like my content, because again, I don't try and look cool. I I don't take myself serious.
No.
Right? And
Yeah.
so I think, and the same with you as well, obviously, right? It's like, you're not trying to be cool, you have a laugh, and I think that people appreciate that.
Yeah, because I try and come across self-deprecating. I don't care if they laugh on me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to fucking drum up, you know, maybe 5 inquiries from that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
and that brings money into my home.
Yeah, exactly.
So, gone are the days where and again, I don't think it comes across. I'm trying. People have to invite me into their home.
Yeah.
And make me tea and have small talk and trust me to go fucking into their master bedroom and clean. You know,
and find certain things you maybe.
I'm
sure.
I just bring them downstairs now. So I find that on the bed. But no, I find that if you come across self-deprecating, you don't take yourself too serious. You don't mind the joke being on you. I think it's well received by the wider audience, because we all know the guy that would eat himself if he was chocolate.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah. I definitely do believe in self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love,
but from a marketing point of view, just from my own personal opinion, if I'm getting into, because 90% of my customers are women,
okay.
and if you know, guys don't phone me to clean the sofa.
Yeah.
Women phone me to clean it. You know what I mean? And if I'm the guy on Facebook fucking talking about how great I am, it's going to turn the women off. I believe. They're not going to say, "Oh, he's fucking, he's good crack, and we'll get him right." You know, he's non-threatening. Let's say.
Yeah, of
course. You know, I'm not that way anyway. You know, but I just find like a marketing kind of twist is it's okay to look at dick now again, like who gives a fuck really?
Yeah, but you only look like a dick if you think like that. If you're worried about people's opinion in the way, it's like the trolls on social media and stuff like that. Like again, if you don't put stuff, a lot of people don't put stuff out there because they're worried about the backlash.
Yeah.
Whereas
of course,
literally my social media that I have, it's like my wife will always say, "You never post pictures of the kids and stuff like that." My own account, like I'm terrible because I'm I literally just do work. On it. That's my social, right? And then maybe so if you look at my algorithm, it'll be MMA. I like a bit of comedy, right? And there might be obviously a good bit of conspiracy stuff on there. It's literally MMA, bit of comedy, conspiracy, and food. That's it. Right?
I know.
Right, so like the MMA side of things is me keeping an eye on the local scene.
Absolutely.
But I don't regimentally try and post. Like my wife would be more active on social media and posting stuff about our life and family and stuff. She's great at doing that way because obviously then she's keeping to some degree. In years to come, I'll thank her because she'll have this whole account with memories of a wee library and stuff, which I'm crap at, right?
But you're because you're thinking work, money, bills, home. No,
but I'm in the house, I'm with my family, and I'm present. It's not like like I'm there, where it's like I'm that guy that's terrible at taking pictures and videos. It's like because I'm watching it, and then did you not get a picture? I know I didn't, because my brain's still not like I'll put my phone and record this. It's like it's still my brain doesn't accept it when people are in trouble. Most people now their first thought process is pull the phone out and record that.
I know.
My brain doesn't accept that still, and it's mad.
Fuck's sake, my van, did you see the one I put on Facebook the other week? Now I put the handbrake on, but I think you think of those machines in the back of it.
Yeah, out of the way. What did it?
Fucking took it down the street.
Oh wow.
So I'm sitting in, that happened twice.
You get that handbrake check. Or you
just leave it in gear now.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you not do that?
No.
You obviously haven't had a dodgy car before.
No.
I see you from day one. I thought if I'm
people
on the
ridiculed me for it.
I would have reversed my car and left in reverse because it's a stronger gear than in first gear.
It was all new to me. Let's carry on.
Somebody let you down on that one. Somebody didn't teach you it.
No. But my point is, I took the phone out. It was fucking we're down the street, up the curb, and the neighbour's fence stopped it.
Oh right, okay.
It was.
Didn't damage it?
No, because it must have been going at like 3 miles an hour.
Okay, just rolled it.
Just creeped down.
Yeah.
But I was in the house, and then next minute the neighbours run, fucking hit the window. Hey, what? I run out. I see the van down the street over the curb, and it just the fence, just like that. No damage, like.
Yeah.
What I do? Cut their phone out. Fucking right.
Aye, free content.
Free content.
Yeah, but so again, yeah, so
It's that shock value, you know.
yeah, so
and,
that so but you used it for work.
I used it for
yeah,
work.
yeah, for
You
sure.
know, it just
for
shows
that.
you how we think.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
But that's different. You knew at that time and period everybody's safe. There's no
Everyone's safe,
damage.
that's
It's
it, it
fine.
stopped.
Yeah, and I'm sure your neighbour was okay with you doing that. Where I'm talking about like live in the moment where somebody needs somebody else to help.
help.
Them.
Yeah.
People are more conscious about like I'm gonna get views for this.
Yeah. But there's actual danger.
When you really think about
Yeah,
it.
there's actual danger.
Yeah,
when
but
people
social
are-
media has it is great in a way as an educational and keep us in touch with people, but it is such a curse. So it is, and it is a poison.
Yeah, no, I say it all the time. It's a blessing and a curse.
But yeah, we got distracted there. Back to so James bloody blah. And that's I say I'm terrible at these things, right? So
but that's the beauty of it. There's no script.
Yeah, there's no
You know,
script.
there's a loose framework. Start, middle, and
Yeah.
what's the future hold,
So,
and then all the wee tangents.
So ended up because we haven't even covered ours, so we'll cover ours now. So as I said, it was up in Bangor. Me and an old friend separated ways, and I opened up in August in Ards, aka Newton Ards, aka Ards. That's what I was saying. Yeah. So opened up down there. Been there since August, and like I think the club's flying and doing great. It's a very active club.
Yeah, just when you say August, it almost seems like you've always been there.
And that's just what I love. I love that because it means I've built a place that feels like home and people feel so comfortable in it.
It does feel like you've been there forever.
It's because of what we've done
You're
already.
also a very active club too.
Yeah, it's because
you
so
hit the
much.
ground running.
Because so much. So, like I said, we had like 13 fights between August and Christmas.
August and Christmas alone.
Yeah, 13 fights alone.
Wow. And then, so what are we at now? January, February, March. And you've hit the ground. And then, just round the corner. Talk about what's just round the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Wrath.
So Wrath, yeah. So,
Shorts, and then the...
And then Stormount, yeah. So
we touched on that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This man brought me in to talk about these things. We're not even talking about it.
We're talking about conspiracy theories.
I haven't even dug deep into the conspiracy theories. So
part two.
Yeah, part two, and we'll come with the conspiracies.
Yes, and the evidence.
Yeah, exactly. With the evidence. Wrath. So Wrath Combat. So my own promotion.
Yes.
So Wrath Combat is being developed mainly to develop my own fighters and to develop to help to develop the sport over here.
Yep.
To add to the scene because we've a real growing scene of MMA competitive, and I think the more competition the better because then we'll develop better athletes in this country, and then when they go on to the bigger platforms, hence the likes of Paul Hughes on the PFL, and you know. You've got Rich McKee fighting the UFC and other fighters, and we're doing very well in Cage Warriors, loads of fighters in Cage Warriors. I think, within the next 2 or 3 years, you're just really going to see a lot of high talent coming out from the country. So, Wrath, the aim with Wrath is... Yeah, so there's 3 sections to Wrath. So there's Wrath Combat Juniors, which will be the development for the kids.
Yep.
There's the boys are... Adam and Henry have just opened up the Belfast League because we've never really had a continuous competition for kids. So we get kids into the sport, right? But we lose them to the weekend sport of football, rugby, hockey, all sorts because they're competing. They're getting to use those skills and they're getting to compete. Where obviously with us, most kids in the younger age can only realistically compete. There's only different platforms for them to compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
Gi and no-gi, right? Yeah. And then obviously you've got boxing, kickboxing, all those are platforms. But MMA in the north, we didn't really have anything. There's a national league down south, but it's expensive. And the boys, they've just started the Belfast League, and I was at it there a couple of weeks ago, and it was absolutely unbelievable. We had a couple of kids fighting on it. So I said I have the section of Wrath Combat Juniors.
Yep.
But I'm not ready to engage in that yet. But I'll speak with the boys about maybe trying to tie in something. Because my kids aren't ready, so I've got Wrath. My first one is Wrath Combat Contenders. So the Wrath Combat Contenders has been developed for people that have just got into the sport, so teens and adults. It's a smaller platform for them to compete on, and the reason for that is because what I've experienced with people over the years when they've competed for the very first time, and it's on one of the bigger shows, you've got social media attention. right? So say you've maybe like 5, 6, 7,000 people coming to watch. There's a lot of anxiety coming into play, right? A bigger platform, then you have a lot more people watching. Say you don't get the win, right? And you're not like sort of with your ego, and you get offended, and you know go down that negative mindset. Yeah, and this is what I've noticed. With a bigger platform, there's a lot more responsibility, a lot more nerves, and a lot more pressure comes in. So if I could develop something that's on a smaller platform, it's the exact same experience. You see the sport of MMA. It's the same thing no matter where you do it in the world, right? You go to a change room.
Yep.
You'll do your medicals.
Yep.
Right? You get medically cleared. You do warm up. You get a walkout. Sometimes you get your song. Sometimes you don't get your song.
Sometimes you get Chris Brown.
Sometimes you get Chris Brown, or the boys will all know this. One of my old shows, I had this DJ, and the DJ mucked up all the walkouts, and because he mucked up all the walkouts, he kept going back to the same song. He played it 7 times. 7 Nation Army.
Oh.
7 Nation Army. So obviously nice.
Good song though.
Oh yeah, but not 7 times for 7 walkouts. We were all fitting. These boys were all playing the same song. So it's a running joke. Speak to people in the gym about it, they laugh about it. So it's like that's the go-to. So if you don't know what walkout you want, 7 Nation Army gets played.
That's what you're getting.
To be fair, I walked out to the King's Hall myself. So you get your walkout. You walk out. You get to the cage. The commissioners do your final check, make sure you've gum shield, cup, they rub you down to make sure you've no plates, none, blah blah blah. And then the cuts team, a lot of bit of Vaseline, blah blah blah. You go in, opponent comes in, tune in, door gets closed, it's all in you have a fight. Right? It could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
On whatever platform. At the end of the day, you can guarantee one thing. You're gonna get into the cage and you're gonna have a fight. It doesn't matter how many people's there, but if I can make that happen with a smaller crowd, so they're more comfortable and there's less pressure, then that's why I've got the contenders, and then I've got Wrath Combat Champions, which the aim for that is the development of my higher level amateur fighters, and then eventually, hopefully, development of them converting into professional.
Yeah.
So then I can manage then and match make the fights.
Yeah.
I can manage a lot more stuff that way, and give them hopefully opportunities.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously help other clubs with their fighters, giving them a platform to compete on. So that's the aim with those 3 platforms. The main aim, as I said, with Wrath is the development of the sport.
Yeah.
Like the stresses that come with like running a show is huge, right? People just think, right, they see tickets, price and ticket sales, and they just think, where's the money man, there's the boss man there, money man there, right? Yeah. See the overheads. Insane.
What about insurances?
So the insurance as well. So these are all things that are in the overheads.
Yeah.
And people don't see.
No.
They just see ticket sales, and like that opened up my eyes as well once I got involved in the running events as well, and it was like, right, if this is me at this scale, what's it like on those? Like I mean, so then UFC and the PFL and all them, you're like, what's their overheads? My gosh.
Scary numbers, telephone numbers.
Mad, so yeah, so we've got the 12th of April is at Shorts Football Club. We've got
what times?
So the doors open at 3:30. The first fight's be around 4:15, 4:30. It's a card, 99% of novice fights, and then I've got the main event, of an amateur. So I'm using that platform to give one of my amateurs a main event slot. So they can experience what it's like fighting late. So that's all experience in the bank for them. Things that I didn't have before I made the conversion into fighting professional. So everything I try and do with my guys is I'm ticking boxes.
Yeah, because you know what's up ahead, because you have a wealth of experience.
Because I didn't have, so like when I had my pro debut, I took it. So most of my fights I took them on short notice.
Yes.
And I'm gonna mention this because it's like so like my coach Rodney, like. It's how he used to tell you had a fight, right? You used to get a text message, and the text message would just start off like this at the top. So it would just be this, hi boy, right? It would come hi boy, and then you would have to open the message to see the rest, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knew when you got the hi boy, there was a fight on the line, right? So then you would sometimes you'd be like, fuck, am I ready to read this? Because then he would see you read it. But if you didn't answer back to him, you'd be like, you don't want this.
Yes.
Not for you.
Yes.
So, and
Wow.
Which was great because it was like, I knew where I stood if I wanted to fight, because if I saw the hard boy and I opened it straight away,
Yeah.
it was irrelevant what it said in the message. I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
If it took a wee second,
Of course.
like, do I want to fight? Am I ready for a fight? Am my body ready? Like, so, but most of my fights came short notice. So my pro debut, I'd experienced cutting weight traveling.
Oh yeah.
I'd never done that, right? Cutting weight wise, as in like I was used to cutting weight with a bath or a sauna.
Yeah.
Arrived at the venue, there was no bath, no sauna, so I had to cut weight the old-fashioned way, which was exercising and sweating and running, blah blah, and being in a deficit,
Yeah.
which meant then would affect my performance the next day. Made weight, so then I had to learn then how do I refuel abroad. I didn't have the comfort of my own kitchen
Yeah.
cook.
The prep and
and make, so I had to then refuel by going out to eat food and trusting people that are making me my food.
yeah, or gonna.
Have maybe like, oh, they haven't cooked it right, you know, so it's not set right, being sick. And then it was my first time experiencing fighting in an arena. So I fought in Birmingham Arena,
Wow.
which was massive,
Yeah.
huge. But I fought also on, at the time was Bama, was so you had Cage Warriors in Bama, but Bama was slightly ahead in certain ways because they had more money just at the time, and they fought in big arena and stuff like that. The Cage Warrior was older. But Bama at the time when I was on the scene, everybody wanted to fight on Bama. Bama was in Europe was the show that people wanted to fight.
Yeah.
The Cage Warriors were still, like, in my opinion, had higher accolades, but it was like they were paying more money, so people wanted to be on Bama. So I was fighting on this big show as my pro debut.
Wow.
So then, as I, obviously now as a coach, these things stuck by me. I was like, I ended up, I didn't get the win, but all these lessons that I learned, I was like, right, I'd never experienced this as an amateur, where that's when I should be making these mistakes and learning all this stuff. So my boys and girls, I have a ticking box, and it's like they literally have to tick all these boxes. Now, if they do decide to push on, like, so some of the guys just compete because it's a hobby.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, most of my students, you know, that compete in MMA want to be professional and want to go as high as they can. As I said, I took up the sport as a hobby. I wasn't selfish enough, as in a way that, like, I'm going to quit everything else and just go for this. So, but for me to do that, it meant I would have had to, like, not be able to earn the income that I needed.
Yeah, it's a huge risk as such.
Yeah, so once I started becoming self-employed, I had more ability then to commit more. So then, as I said, I forgot to so I had my fight for next gen. I only had one amateur fight under Rodney, and Rodney said you're going pro. So I only had one fight. I defended my title, and he was like, you're going pro next. And then I was like, right, okay. And in my head I was like, right, I can go pro. I'll fight pro because I was self-employed and I could train more and I could control my shifts, blah blah, and still earn money. So then I was like, right, okay, I'll go pro. But in my head, when I was going pro, I was like, I said to you, I was like, I'll go pro because it means then I can justify my time away. I'll pay for a wee holiday. Any money I earn, I'll save it to the side and I'll treat us to a holiday with it that way. So that was like my going. I'll fight professionally, but just means I can justify my time I'm away from you.
Yeah, with making it up.
Yes, making it up for us, then going on holiday and stuff. So fighting pro, I unfortunately, with my professional career, I said, so I had my pro debut, it didn't go my way. Before I convert, Ronnie told me I'm going pro. I ended up injuring my ankle, tore ligaments in my ankle, was out for about 6 months, came back, and then originally I was meant to, Ronnie says, true, well, maybe have an amateur fight, and then at the time, there was an opportunity to go fight in the IMF's World Championships in Vegas.
Oh wow.
And I was going to go and do that. But to do that, I was needing like £1,400-1,500. I was like, if I'm going to get £1,400-1,500. And I was like, fit me. I was picking my head, how am I going to get that? But I was wanting to do it. I was like, because I'm going to accumulate probably 4 or 5 fights. That's going to get me back in.
Yeah.
Happy days, you know. And then I was like, fuck, that'd be a good accolade to then maybe like get a medal for that.
Yeah. Raising your stock.
Yeah, 100% before I go pro. And then it was like, hi boy.
The
message came through. How do you fancy making your pro debut next week? So this was a week's notice, right?
Oh.
So obviously I'd been back training, but I was meant to like go away. I had like 2 months, 8 weeks to try and raise the money and then go fight in the MS. But the hard boy came through, and I was literally, the reason I went yes was like, it was like, oh, you get £350, and at the time I was like, raise 1,500 or get £350.
Yeah.
And go
Raise
fight
or
pro,
get.
get to use elbows. I'll take that. I'll do me. Right? I'll do that instead. So I said, I've done that, and because I took on short notice, then BAM had promised me then they were coming to Dublin, and they said, right, if you take that short notice, we'll get you a fight then in Dublin in September. I was like, right, there on. So this was June. I was like, right, sweet, I'll get the fight in September in Dublin. Because my aim was like, right, once I'm fit and ready, I'm wanting to accumulate fights. Because my last sort of year as amateur, I accumulated 5 fights in 1 year. Because then, you know, Rodney put that in me, and then Jamie as well put that in me, is you just stay ready. Stay like, just keep training, keep your weight close, because you never know what opportunities come. And most of my fights came that way, short notice opportunities. So, falling ball, didn't go my way. Learned loads of lessons, and then I was like, Rodney, we'll get match. Then match me. Again, week's notice. They had a fight, Palmer had a fight pull out, my weight class, boy, do you want to jump in? And like, I'm not gonna lie, that one I took a wee whack, so I was like, no, fuck them. I was like, they were meant to, you know, like, get me a fight, you know, and get me matched. Now I'm having this sort of rush. Now I'm sort of fit and ready.
Yeah.
And then the fight, I was like, it was against somebody I was supposed to fight in the amateurs and never came through. And I was like, you know what, it's the free arena. When am I going to get the chance to fight in the free arena? Right, I'll take it. Took the fight. Again, learned quite a lot from, you know, travelling down, staying overnight by all that crap. But 30 seconds, 40 seconds in the fight, I landed like a good 1-2 on the fella, sort of rocked him, and then he shot in for a takedown. And on the takedown in my head, he was in a certain way that I was like, if I post, I'm going to be able to turn him when he commits this. When I posted, I didn't pre-see him cutting the angle once I posted. So once I posted, then my elbow dislocated.
Oh.
Now, at the time, it just felt like, my gosh, it jarred my elbow.
Yeah,
so I ended up in the back, and I was like, he was in my half guard, I had him here, and I was like, right, it's big time for me to hit an elbow.
Yeah.
I went like this. I was like, where's my arm? And then I was like, oh, my arm's out. And I'm going like trying to get the referee's attention. Because I was like, if I let go his head, I know for a fact he's unloading on me here. It's going to be elbows, like, right? And I was like, I'm trying to get the ref. I was like, my arm's dislocated, my arm. Keep fighting. I'm like, this dickhead's not listening to me. I'm like, my arm's dislocated. And I was like, I need to let go of this arm to be able to tap.
Yes.
Right? Because
can you tell quicker than he could fucking?
So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do this here. I was like, he's not listening to me. I was like, right, I need to let go. Because there's no way, it was completely out. There was no like, I tried to move it, like it wasn't going back in. It needed to be like manually, really, like it was really out, like stuff snapped. So I let go. Dickhead lands about 6 shots on me, an elbow and all. In the end. So yeah, I'm tapping like this. So I can't even bring this on up to protect myself, right? So I'm tapping. And then the ref jumps in, it's over.
I was fucking over.
Absolutely no, right? And then I get up and I'm like, I'm telling you my arm's dislocated. What? I'm like, my arm, he's like, and then he calls down the medical team, man, and then so then they take me out. So I went down to the TKO, like knobhead, jumped on the cage, and I'm shouting my elbows out. You can clearly hear me, right? Yes, continue to fight on, but the fact you jumped on the cage, I was like, no, right? And anyway, I was so angry.
Yeah.
That was the first time I really experienced like real anger after a fight. I think it was because I never got to actually display and fight, and then I knew I had this injury that I was like,
you're going to have to.
I was like, put me out for like just under 2 years.
And you do that then in that moment.
Well, I got put into the medical team then, and they were like trying to give me gas and air, and I was like, I don't want no, I just want to put it back in. I was so angry. I had that much anger in me. I was like, put it back in. Nobody could talk me down. Ronnie's like, calm down. I was like, and then next thing out of nowhere, now we're talking about free arena, hundreds of security men there, right? Hundreds of security men. Next thing my fiance walks in, he's like, and Haley walked in through the door in the medical team.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck are you in here? And so I'm kicking off, and she was just like, she was like, take the gas in there, stop being a dickhead. get this back in, because they wouldn't put it back in until
Until you started playing ball.
yeah, because I was like,
It was
let's put it back
fair,
in.
you need
Yeah,
that
they wanted
routine.
that back in.
Yeah.
But she came in, and I was like, how'd you get in? She's like, never mind that. She was like, she got the security man, and the security, like, you can't get in here. She's like, that's my fiance, it's just this girl, you fucking let me in. And then they were like, okay. They let her in. But anyway, so I got the elbow pop back in. I went and seen doctors. Cut the story short, went and seen doctors. Doctors were like, no, can't operate on it. You'll never fade again. Blah blah. And then I found my mum worked at the Ulster Planning Clinic, and she found she super got me to come in and see one of the consultants there. I want to say Dr. Eames. I think he's a really good specialist. I think he's worked on Paul Hughes' hand as well. I went and seen him, and he said, yeah, I can operate. From the operation, he just said you'll never get full extension. He's like, you can probably get your arm to about here. I was like, right, dead on. Got the operation, and I was like, I'm gonna get my arm completely straight. Yeah. And what I just started to do was like, so he said to me just to start like moving it, and then what I skipped stages. I was like, you know what, sandbag on it. I just started sitting back down and just sitting down. It was aching. And I just started sitting and tearing, like
Stretching it out.
Well, I was like, we had like, it would obviously you would get build up of I can't remember the name of it, but you get build up of like scarred muscle tissue.
Yeah.
You just have to tear that. They just reopen the flexibility and tear part of it. So I ended up like when I was cleared to do that, start doing that, like within like almost like less than 2 weeks, I had full extension.
No way.
And hyperextension. So he
So
was
you're
just
back
very
in the game,
impressed.
man?
So then I was like, right, when can I go back training? So then I had to do a bit of rehabilitation and stuff like that and build the strength back up, and I went back training, and I just remember having this fear of throwing a jab, just a jab, because I thought I'll throw a jab and my arm will pop out, hyperextend.
Yeah.
So I practiced a lot of I hate to say that, I did go southpaw for a good bit, just so I could throw jabs. So then I worked on switching stances, but then as I said, I went from that, and then but I was, unfortunately in my career, I ended up getting like a good few injuries, but my first fight back then from that injury was again on 2 weeks notice. So I was training away, I was building up then to go and fight in Manchester like on a certain date. And then I got tagged on Facebook, so this is where Facebook comes in.
Yes.
Got tagged on Facebook. It was a comment from, I want to say Larry Byrne, who would be a guy down south who's very involved in the Muay Thai scene. He said, any flyweights want to fight in China?
Oh.
Right? People tagged me in it. So I replied underneath it. I was like, message Rodney Moore, I'm happy to go.
Yeah.
Hot boy, the Rodney. So Rodney got in contact. And then the Ha boy came through. Ha boy, do you want to go to China instead of Manchester? And I was like, 100%, I'll go to China. So then,
No bother.
no clue about that. All I knew about the fella was I'm being brought over. He was the golden goose. I was being brought over to get beat up by this guy, right? He was on the field, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm going to China. That's a tick off the bucket list. Like, I'm going to fight in China. So went to China. But the story about us getting to China meant we needed to get visas, and we needed to get visas from the south. This was mental how this happened, right? Not naming anybody, but we suddenly had an address down south within a week. Within a week from that address, we were able to get a visa to go to China, because we couldn't get a visa, say, through the British embassy. It wouldn't come through, and the Chinese wouldn't accept it. It had to come through the south.
No way.
Try again. I don't know. Ronnie pulled it off, but he managed to pull it off. But it was unbelievable. So why we go to China, and one of my teammates also jumped on the car. Gisa never fought MMA. She was a BJJ girl. Never fought MMA. She was like, her and her husband, we're getting a free trip to China. I'll have a fight. She was fit as anything. She's a beast, right?
Yeah.
So we go to China. A week we were out in China, and oh my gosh, like, I would never go back to China.
No.
It was mental. Like, first things first, we arrived at the airport and there's this big sign that says no Bibles allowed in here, right? I tried to take a picture, and then the military soldier see me take a picture, comes over, tries to take my phone off me, and I'm like, no, I'll delete the picture. And so yeah, going through China, they communicate on the road with their horns.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like when they're taking somebody over, the horn, and they want to insult you, the horn, but the horns suddenly you hear them, it's like, I'm just passing, it's like, and then it was like mental. So we're in this bus, and I don't think we're going to make it, we're going to die here. Like, it was just mental. And we arrived at the venue, class hotel, and it's the first time I thought I was tall. I was tall and tall.
And France.
No, France is massive. They're tall in France. They're tall France. This is meant to be the land leprechaun, that's why I thought I put it in. But, so we're there, and it was just like a whole different world. Like, I was vegan for the week, because every time I asked what's this meat, they would just go woof woof.
Oh really?
Yeah, so we were given this guy who was meant to be like, he looked after us, right? Didn't speak any English.
Oh, stop it.
Nah, I'll go through the story quickly because it's quite funny, right? There's a couple of boys from down the south there over us, they were great crack. So he didn't speak any English. So I started calling him Jeffrey.
Yes.
You know Jeffrey, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I called him Jeffrey, so I was like, Jeffrey, come here. You know, and he'd be like, and then you'd have to try and use, he had a translator, so then we would type it in English and then we'd convert it to him, right? So that's, we used Jeffrey, so I would ask questions to Jeffrey for loads of things. So like, anyway, we got a tour, and at night time he took us tour, showed us this big stadium arena where we were fighting in. At night time, hundreds of people would gather in this square and they'd go through exercise. So you had like from traditional martial art movements, you had dancing, like it would be like ballroom dancing. This is all outdoor, right? And then you'd have people like doing like upbeat dances, like right, where it's like
break dancing.
no, it's just like dance routine, but like intense ones, you know. So like it was like cardio for them, but like in the form of a dance. They love to do like sort of dance routine. And then whilst all the adults were doing this, you had these toddlers and kids running around, right? And I noticed this. I was like, these toddlers going around with like onesies, but their arses are out. So they all had their bare arse out. So like had a flap.
Yeah.
Their arses were hanging out. And I was like, Jeffrey! I was like, Jeffrey! I was like, come here! And I didn't mean to translate. I was like, wait, why? And he's looking around and he grabs me, he's like, come here. And he's like, look, the toddler's squatting, just shaking.
I know.
And I was like, what's going on here? And then, so we were in the hotel. And it was a beautiful hotel. People were smoking inside. And you had this wee woman, she was going around sweeping, cleaning. And people would just spit. Like, so care for others was not there.
No.
Like, no care for others. And this was one of my favourite moments ever. We came down this lift, we were going away to do like a open training session it was like at a school, Olympic centre.
Yes.
For people to watch us training and stuff like that. So we would get to go there to train. And we're coming down the lift. And what was his name? Chanderson or Jefferson. He's Brazilian, right? He's Brazilian and he was black. Yeah. And so Rodney's swirly. I don't know if you've ever seen Rodney, but he's very swirly, right? And so we come out of this lift and there's about like, I don't want to say about 30, 40 Chinese people there, right? They just arrive, right? The door's open and all I hear is, oh, right? Yeah, this is it, right? So the first guys come out and you hear them, oh, and then when I'm walking in, they're like, oh, and then Lisa's quite swarthy as well, and they're like, oh. Rodney comes out, he's a big man. Yeah. They're like, whoa! And then Janderson comes out, whoa! It was like they were like at the zoo. It was like being at the zoo for them. I swear. So we got where we were in the region, they'd probably never seen foreigners before, right? Yeah. And then it was like pictures. They wanted pictures. Everybody wanted pictures of us. So when they seen us, they wanted pictures, right? Just because they were like white people.
Aliens.
That was it.
Aliens.
So and there was a scene that we went to school and we ended up going to karate school and we done training there and they took pictures. So it was quite cool that way. But so I fought and then we had like a big media thing, was quite interesting. Which was funny. They had the guy that was doing sort of the MCN asked me a question, right? And I would answer it like 2 words. I would answer 2 words. His speech went on for like 45, 60 seconds. I was like, there's no way my 2 words involves 100 words. So he was adding on, right? I was like, what's he saying, man? Yeah. What's he saying? But what they were trying to build it across, they were trying to say like that I trained with McGregor, because obviously McGregor at the time was, you know, he was a big name, so they were like, oh, training partner with McGregor. And I was like, I don't know the man, I never trained with the man. I was like, I remember being at a show and he was there, that's about it, you know. But so I ended up fighting, got the finish in the second round. Broke my, I think I almost broke my overall in the first round. Boy, headbutted me. Broke my foot in the first round, and got to finish in the second round.
And this was the one where you were brought over to be along to the
Yeah,
slaughter.
yeah. Finished the guy in the second, and how I finished it was literally the doctor stopped it from outside the cage. I was ground pounding this boy, like I broke his orbital, his nose was broke, and I mean I stopped punching him in the face because I was like, I'm gonna kill this fella.
Yeah.
So I started like I threw like a 30 punch flurry, but it was like shoulders, chest, and just hitting like the top of his head and stuff. And
You felt he was done.
I was just
Anyway,
like,
it was
yeah, he was done, but
damage.
I was like, so, because there was loads of gambling. Like one of the judges came in, so over in China, they're not allowed to have too much blood on live TV.
Yes.
So like I broke his nose down the first, so his nose was bleeding quite a lot. So they came in to sort of dry him up.
Yeah.
Whilst they were drying him up, I seen the judge come in and speak to him, and I was like, why is he speaking to him? You know what I mean? So whilst I was ground and pounding, Rodney was shouting, they're not going to stop it, they're not going to stop it. And I'm like, I'm feeling an adrenaline dump going, I'm like, my gosh,
The beller's down.
so I'm like, I couldn't submit him because when I went, he was all greased up. I went to go for an arm bar, and then when I went for the arm, I slid right up. I was like, oh, this boy's all greased here.
Yep.
So I didn't end up going for submissions. But anyway, the 12 came over, and Rodney said, it's over. And I was like, it's over. The ref didn't stop me, and then the ref comes in, but it was the doctor through the towel. He's probably dead now, you know. It's like, I don't know, you know. But then
He's taken away.
the funny thing of that was like, see after the fight, me and your man battered, like absolute battered. I broke a foot. I had this huge black eye from the headbutt, huge black eye. His face not the same. We get taken to this interview booth after, like you imagine like ESPN booth, right? So like he goes on first and he's like, I'll concuss, got these earphones. And I'm like, this must look terrible on TV. He's like, oh no, you know.
he's coughing dodging.
You know,
He
oh,
just
I
wants
mean,
to die.
right? And then I go on and they're like, nobody was speaking English.
Yeah.
I put it on my ears. High fight go! That's that. High fight go! And I was like, oh yeah, they didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, you know, first round, so I was sussing out, blah, blah, you know. What do you think next? Oh, well, hopefully I heal my foot and my eye and then get back as quick as possible. You come back? He's like, I will, if you have me back, yeah, I come back. And then his like, said something else, and I was like, and then I was like, that's what's not done. Then I went back to the change room. Remember Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Jeffrey comes up to me. Big Jeffrey comes up and he speaks full English.
Oh, stop it.
Hey, Jeffrey had money on me, so he did. But Jeffrey couldn't make it look like
he was going
sussing us out the whole week. So he realised, oh, he's going to knock his bollocks out. I'll put some money on because he was watching us train.
Brilliant.
So he was watching us
He's
train.
the inside scoop.
Oh, Jeffrey spoke English, no bar.
Brilliant.
Spoke English, no bar. Yeah, so.
Mate, I think that's a brilliant note to finish part one on.
Yeah, part one.
Yeah, no, to everybody at home, you don't realise we were up at 5 and in here for 6 this morning because Arnaud's the only man I know that's busier than me. So he's a full diary ahead of him today. I have a full schedule today. So we are going to wrap things up. I'm going to thank Arnaud one more time for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. Sorry for blabbing. Sorry.
No.
Folks.
I loved every minute of it, and fuck Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey was alright.
Plant.
Jeffrey was alright. I got kicked out because then I had to get put out of the way because obviously the people lost money on me. So then,
Yeah,
they didn't like me after that. So then, no.
You weren't good to go after that. Mate, put it
Yes.
there.
Thank you very much.
And I believe I'm your 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 100%. Let's have a roll. Dude, as I said to you,